All right, y'all, welcome to the show. I got a giant one for you. So in just a second, it's the curse of being right about everything. I told you guys the other day that the new Gaza peace deal was yet again fake. That's already proven to be true. So Netanyahu played Trump like a fiddle. He played him like the idiot he is. I'm going to walk you through that. We also have the streamer Aiden Ross is desperate to wash Trump's stench off of him. He, of course, collaborated with Trump and helped him campaign. Now he's seemingly regretting it. So we'll talk about that. We also have what I like to call Timu Charlie Kirk, also known as Brylan Hollyhand, I believe his name is. He's now getting cooked by MAGA on a daily basis because they resent that this 19-year-old twerp is trying to fill the shoes of Charlie so quickly after he was killed. We'll also talk about BlackRock has been caught in a massive criminal scheme that you have to see to believe. Got a More Perfect Union video on that should terrify the shit out of all of you, because basically they're trying to buy up all the public utilities all across this country and then fucking price gouge you. So really, really ugly stuff. And then later on, Moist Critical abandons Israel as normies flee from Israel. JD Vance is now trying to get certain YouTubers and streamers arrested. And AI is now officially beyond scary. Not only the fact that the videos are, super convincing to like 99% of people, but also because they're just going to totally destroy our energy grid because these things require a ridiculous amount of power. So we have all that and more. You guys know the drill. Everybody, please do me a huge favor and subscribe to the channel. That helps out big time and costs you nothing at all. You can also support the show on Patreon. The link is below if you'd like to do that. Remember, this is real independent media. So your $2 a month or $5 a month makes a real difference. You could also support Crystal Kyle and Friends on Substack. That link is below. And go subscribe to the Corin's World YouTube channel, where we try to do live Kyle and Corin episodes every Monday at 8:30. All right. So without any further ado, y'all, let's go ahead and dive into it. So let's start with this. The other day, I told you guys that there was this big event that Trump put on at the White House, and you had him and Netanyahu in a press conference, and they were all standing up and talking, and Trump lays out, we did it. We figured it out. We got peace. I got this amazing peace agreement between Netanyahu and Israel and Hamas in Gaza. And, they even tweeted it on the White House accounts. It was like a 16 or 20 point plan. And I remember sitting there reading through it. And by the time I got to like number 3 or 4 on the list, I said to myself, why am I even wasting my time reading this? This is like totally fake. Like, it's totally fake. So if you take the thing at face value, it's without a doubt better than nothing, right? Like, if you take it at face value, like, okay, they're actually going to try to implement this, it's better than nothing. But here's the problem. They're not going to do it. There's also goofy things about it, like Trump becomes the head of some like peace board that oversees Gaza. So like Donald Trump and Tony Blair become the viceroy of Gaza. Like, that's sort of fucking preposterous if you think about it. But still, in theory, all of it was better than nothing. But I said, why am I wasting my time? This is fucking bullshit. They're going to pretend, oh, look, here, we have the deal. Trump will do his whole shtick about it and like fucking pat himself on the back about it and suck himself off over it. And then literally within a week, the whole fucking thing will fall apart. And there was a line in that event where Trump said, like, oh, if Hamas doesn't agree, then Israel has my backing to basically finish the job, which is just his way of saying, like, yeah, let's complete the final solution. Let's complete the Holocaust. Then let's finish the ethnic cleansing and steal all the territory and build casinos and hotels on the beach. But hey, here we are. At least we're saying we want peace. So if something happens, don't blame us. Don't blame Trump. Don't blame Netanyahu. Blame Hamas, right? Well, Hamas, of course, being savvy, decided, yeah, we're going to release a statement and be like, oh, totally, we agree. We're on board. Trump's peace plan. You go, sir. We love it, right? And the White House even, like, reposted a Hamas statement to be like, see, they did the right thing. They accepted it. Okay, ready? Literally within, like, 2 or 3 days of this happening, where, in theory, everybody agreed and Trump held the big event, guess what? Netanyahu kept fucking bombing. He kept bombing even after Trump said, Netanyahu's going to stop bombing. He's going to stop bombing. He's going to do it right now. We have peace. And Netanyahu kept bombing. So let me walk you through this here from Dropsite, because Netanyahu, with his immense amount of arrogance, decided, I'm going to go give a speech in Israel in Hebrew now, where I'll let the cat out of the bag. This is what Netanyahu said. Captives to return while the IDF remains deep in Gaza. So this is Netanyahu saying, we're going to get all of our hostages back, And we're also going to continue stealing Gaza. And he's announcing this. He's announcing it. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu delivered a statement framing Israel as on the verge of a very great achievement, the return of all captives without withdrawing from Gaza. Quote, I hope with God's help that in the coming days during the Sukkot holiday, I will be able to inform you about the return of all of our hostages, both living and deceased, in one phase, while the IDF remains deep within the Strip and in the controlling areas within it. The message underscores Israel's central aim, retrieve captives while continuing to occupy Gaza, the core clash with Hamas, which demands withdrawal be tied to the captive exchange. In his statement, Netanyahu, who was wanted for war crimes at the ICC, also spoke about pressure and critics. He attacked skeptics who said freeing all captives was impossible without withdrawal. Quote, that is simply a lie. What brought about the change in Hamas's position is solely the military and diplomatic pressure we have exerted. He said he resisted tremendous pressure from within and without to stop the war and surrender to Hamas. Coordination with Trump. Netanyahu said he ordered the IDF into Gaza City while coordinating with Trump on a diplomatic move that, in his words, instantly flipped the script. Instead of Israel being isolated, Hamas is isolated. He claimed the combination of military assault and U.S. cover is now pressuring Hamas into agreeing to Israel's plan for captives. Negotiations in Cairo. Strategic Affairs Minister Ron Dermer will lead the delegation to Egypt. Our intention and that of our American friends is to limit this negotiation to a few days. He stressed Trump warned no delay tactics, time wasting, or evasion by Hamas will be tolerated. The next phase, disarmament. In the second stage, Hamas will be disarmed and the Strip demilitarized. This will happen via a diplomatic route, according to the Trump plan, or via a military route by us. Either it will be achieved the easy way or the hard way, but it will be achieved. Netanyahu and war aims. Netanyahu cited captives returned, vowed he never gave up on the remaining 48, and insisted he also never abandoned the other objectives of the war. He invoked his UN speech to captives, meeting with families, and promised Jewish burials for the dead. Military achievements claimed. Netanyahu claimed IDF operations and government resolve had delivered sweeping victories, entry into Rafah, control of the Philadelphia Courier, the killing of Haniyeh, Sinwar, Daif, and Nasrallah, the collapse of Assad's regime, and the destruction of Iran's nuclear and missile threat. This is a historic achievement recorded in the annals of nations. To sum this up for you, basically what's happening here is Netanyahu, in a speech in Hebrew, is telling the people of Israel, hey man, all that fucking peace deal bullshit I just did in Washington with Trump, that was all fake. So what we're going to do is, we lied to trick Hamas into releasing the remaining hostages, and then we're going to continue to finish the genocide and steal the territory. So in other words, he's admitting to the world, we are not a partner for peace. We are not good to our word. We said we agreed to the peace deal, but we didn't fucking mean it. And now I'm saying in Hebrew, acting as if nobody can take this and translate it and show it to the rest of the world. I'm just telling you in Hebrew, that was all bullshit. Unbelievable. Ready? As Hassan pointed out, it has been 18 hours since Trump ordered Israel to stop bombing Gaza to implement the peace plan, and predictably, Israel has yet to cease its bombing of Gaza. Trump then followed up and made it seem like Israel has stopped its operations on the Strip. So here's Trump. Based on the statement just issued by Hamas, I believe they are ready for a lasting peace. Israel must immediately stop the bombing of Gaza so that we can get the hostages out safely and quickly. Right now, it's far too dangerous to do that. We are already in discussions on details to be worked out. This is not about Gaza alone. This is about long-sought peace in the Middle East. Ready? I appreciate that Israel has temporarily stopped the bombing in order to give the hostage release and peace deal a chance to be completed. Hamas must move quickly or else all bets will be off. I will not tolerate delay, which many think will happen, or any outcome where Gaza poses a threat again. Let's get this done fast. Everyone will be treated fairly. So Trump says, oh, Hamas agreed to the peace plan, and he says Israel's got to stop bombing. Israel doesn't stop bombing, but Trump goes, I see Israel stopped bombing, so Hamas, you better act right. Unfucking believable. Ryan Grimm says, Hamas says Israel has killed 70 people, including women and children, since Trump told Israel to halt the bombing. This is a statement from Hamas. The ongoing bombardment and massacres by the occupation exposed Netanyahu's lies about reducing military operations against civilians. The Zionist occupation army continues to commit horrific crimes and massacres against our Palestinian people in the Gaza Strip. Since this morning, brutal airstrikes and bombardments have resulted in the martyrdom of 70 people, including children and women, in a continuous bloody escalation that exposes the lies of the war criminal Netanyahu's government regarding the supposed reduction of military operations against unarmed civilians. We renew our call on the international community and on Arab and Islamic countries to shoulder their legal and humanitarian responsibilities and to act urgently to protect and aid our people. There must be serious pressure using all means to stop the ongoing war of extermination and starvation that has persisted for 2 years against the Gaza Strip. We also call on the free people of the world to continue and intensify their solidarity activities with our Palestinian people and to pressure the occupation to end its aggression, genocidal crimes, and starvation against Gaza. So Hamas released that statement because Israel continued to bomb. Now, at the same time all this is going on, Itamar Ben-Gvir came out and admitted, yeah, we tortured Greta Thunberg. We tortured her. We stopped the flotilla, which was trying to deliver, like, baby food to babies, and then we tortured her. And then he bragged about it. Also, remember when the flotilla got attacked when it was in the port in Tunisia? Well, now we know. Guess who ordered that attack? Look at this. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu directly approved military operations on 2 vessels early last month that were part of a Gaza-bound flotilla carrying aid and pro-Palestinian supporters, including Swedish climate activist Greta Thunberg. 2 American intelligence officials briefed on the matter told CBS News that Israeli forces on September 8th and 9th launched drones from a submarine and dropped incendiary devices onto the boats that were moored outside the Tunisian port, causing a fire. Under international humanitarian law and the law of armed conflict, the use of incendiary weapons against a civilian population or civilian object is prohibited in all circumstances. So yet another war crime and another attack on another sovereign country, by the way. And this was CBS that reported this. Ready for this incredible fact? So CBS reported this. This was like the last thing they did before they got taken over by the Zionist billionaire Ellison and taken over by Barry Weiss, who's now going to be chief propagandist to make them less anti-Trump and make them more pro-Israel. So this was like somebody said on Twitter, this is like a buzzer beater at the last second from the old school guard at CBS before they get taken over and absolutely destroyed by a bunch of Zionist hacks, pathetic Zionist hacks. Now, again, at the same time, ready? And I told you this was going to happen. I told you all this was going to happen. Like I said, the curse of being right about everything. Because I told you, why am I wasting my time? They're doing this fake peace deal agreement. I guarantee you within a week, the whole fucking thing falls apart. Hamas will agree to the deal, will abide by the terms. Then Netanyahu will not agree to the deal and not abide by the terms, but they'll say, oh, Hamas violated the deal. Every time, Israel will violate the deal and then go, I can't believe Hamas violated the deal. It happens every single time. Every time. Most people don't even know that I believe it was 2 days or 3 days after October 7th, a deal was on the table where Hamas said, we'll give you all the hostages. You just need to not invade the Gaza Strip. And Israel rejected it. Why? Because they cared more about genocide and extermination and ethnic cleansing than anything else. That's what they cared about the most. They cared more about that than the hostages even. Unbelievable. So, ready? Now, at the same time all this is going on, I want to show you what supposedly liberal pundits in the U.S. are talking about. Here is a guy by the name of Van Jones, who in theory is supposed to be a liberal or a leftist, and he was on Bill Maher's show, and listen to what he said here.
Isn't part of that because we had to fold everything into critical race theory, and somehow the Middle East became part of,
I see it differently. And I love this conversation because I think people, those of us who went to college, give a lot more credit to college courses for how the world works than I do. This is not about critical race theory on college campuses. This is about Iran. Iran and Qatar have come up with a disinformation campaign that they are running through TikTok and Instagram that is massive. If you are a young person, you open up your phone and all you see is dead Gaza baby, dead Gaza baby, dead Gaza baby,
right.
Diddy, dead Gaza baby, dead Gaza baby. Like, that's basically your whole feed. So that's not DEI. That is a geopolitical adversary that is deliberately trying to divide the West against itself.
So first of all, let's just point out that's just factually not true. The idea that, it's because of Qatar and Iran that we're seeing this. No, it's not. And also, this is not a disinformation campaign. It's just an information campaign. We're getting those pictures and videos from journalists on the ground in Gaza. They're giving us real-world information and news and facts about the horrors that are unfolding. It doesn't require Qatar to be involved or Iran to be involved. And by the way, who are we kidding? The idea that Qatar or Iran has a bigger sway in U.S. politics than fucking Israel? Are you kidding me? Israel and Saudi Arabia are number 1 and 2 when it comes to lobbying the U.S. government. So he's factually wrong. But notice, what do you make a punchline there? Dead Gaza baby, dead Gaza baby, dead Gaza baby, Diddy, dead Gaza baby. He made that a punchline. Dead Gaza baby became a punchline. Imagine dehumanizing a group of people so fucking thoroughly that saying their babies are dead is part of a joke and people fucking laughed at it. That is fucking unacceptable and inexcusable. And this got so bad that he literally did have to come out and apologize, but everybody of course was like, how about go fuck yourself? The fact that this even came to your mind in the first place and you uttered those words says so much about you. So much about you. And I'm sorry, but it's liberal my ass cheeks, leftist my ass cheeks. This guy's a total fucking hack. And by the way, people also found out he was following some like account on Instagram or something called like Hot IDF Girls, right? Lord only knows what kind of money he's taking from the Israel lobby, right? But this, unfortunately, is where the dialogue is at in the U.S. right now. It's disgusting. We're in the end stage of the final solution, and this is the fucking chatter that we're hearing in U.S. media. And it's only going to get worse with Barry Weiss taking over CBS and Ellison taking over CBS, and they're also trying to take over CNN. Zionist hacks going to try to bias the media as much as possible against Palestinians, even more than it already is, right? It's incredible what we're witnessing. But look, I told you what was going to happen. I told you the peace deal was fake. I told you it was going to fall apart within a week. I told you Hamas would agree to it and follow the terms, but Netanyahu wouldn't, but then he'd blame Hamas like Hamas. Blew it up. It all happened. It all happened right in front of our eyes. And I'll say this for the 9,000th time, but I'm sick and tired of living through history. I don't want to live through history anymore. I hate the fact that we're witnessing a new Holocaust. I hate the fact that we're witnessing the new version of the Native American genocide, right? I'd like to change this timeline and have the good guys fucking win for once. But unfortunately, the people with all the money and all the power are the worst fucking people on planet Earth, and that's been made crystal clear. Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.